Imagine a world without The Dark Knight, the greatest superhero film of all time, or a world without Grand Theft Auto 5, the video game that revolutionized the gaming industry. Sounds like a pretty bleak existence, right? Well, that's the reality we would be living in right now if Michael Mann did not bring us his 1995 film. Wow, is this film just absolutely dripping in style. I don't know if it's just the 90s, I wasn't born yet, but wow. Anyways, let's get into it. Heat follows the complex characters of Neil McCauley and Vincent Hanna, two sides of the same coin on opposite sides of the law. Neil is a professional thief and a bit of a loner, and Hanna is an LAPD detective on his third marriage.
Never cheated on you, bitch.
Well, maybe you should have.
You should have. Look, maybe I should.
Shut up, Ralph! Shut up!
After Neil and his crew finish their latest score, Lieutenant Vincent Hanna and the LAPD begin their investigation on the heist. And so begins the journey and exploration of the rivalry between these two workaholics.
I don't know how to do anything else.
Neither do I.
But none of this should come as a surprise to you unless you have a backwards duck haircut and make TikToks all day.
I was out all night, man. I'm hitting like one of them flamingo matador guys, man.
That's got nothing to do with
You
me.
know,
Whether you know it or not, you felt the cultural impact of Heat. There are several visual parallels between Heat and these genre-bending properties. It's more than that, though. These respective heavyweights have learned from Heat's deep and complex characters and narrative. But I will say, as I mentioned earlier, there is a sense of style and swagger that Heat carries itself with, and its inspiration is obvious here.
We got contact! All right, make it happen. Plant sticky bombs. Okay, okay!
Yeah, I'd say GTA 5 shares some pretty similar visual and musical cues to Heat. And yeah, you might say I specifically cherry-picked this GTA mission to prove my point, but I'd argue the character of Michael throughout the story mode embodies the character of Neil McCauley, with a hint of Vincent Hanna would-be family man in there too.
I'm paying that turd $150 an hour to fuck my wife in my own bed?
Michael, go away!
No, I'm sorry, bro.
Just look at the striking resemblance between Michael and Neil. Michael isn't quite the best at being a family man, and he falls back into a life of crime, where he feels he belongs, similar to Neil at the end of Heat. I guess the main distinction is that Neil's woman was actually loyal, but without a doubt both of these men are slaves to the lifestyle of crime.
I was happily retired, sulking by my swimming pool. And my psychotic best friend shows up out of nowhere to torture me over mistakes I made, honest mistakes I made over a decade ago.
Look, ultimately what Michael Mann did with Heat is he created a story about humans, not just a story about cops and robbers. From that same line of thinking, Christopher Nolan was able to bend the superhero genre as Michael Mann did with the crime genre, by grounding his characters and ultimately telling a deeply human story.
She got a great ass!
And these movies don't always take themselves too seriously. I mean, the Joker is pure chaos and Al Pacino's just coked out half the movie.
And you got your head all the way up it!
Okay, back to our regularly scheduled programming. Nolan essentially used Heat as a blueprint for world building in The Dark Knight, and is quoted as saying, "I always felt Heat to be a remarkable demonstration of how you can create a vast universe within one city and balance a very large number of characters and their emotional journeys in an effective manner."
He missed!
Nolan was absolutely right to take inspiration from Heat, with a brilliant use of action set pieces to emphasize the scope of the world, treating the city as a character itself. But the visuals are only half the battle, as The Dark Knight not only mirrors Heat visually, but also with its remarkable score. Tense, yet emotional and character-driven. I'm not saying the scores are the same by any means, but they each uniquely set the tone and add that extra layer of dimension to the world building. Listen to both opening sequences and how they draw you into the vast city of each film. Okay, full disclosure, I did not plan for both scenes to end on car doors opening. It sort of just happened in my favor. But anyways, yeah, each score has that sort of shepherd tone where it sounds like it's constantly building, creating that sweet suspense. And I could get into the sound design of Heat and how the actors shot real blanks to get that realistic and visceral sound. Unfortunately, I don't think we'll ever get anything close to this again thanks to a certain someone. Alright, things are disorganized as it is, but I've got to mention character parallels with these movies, where clashing ideologies are at the forefront. Both films center their structure around a climactic confrontation between opposing sides in the middle of the movie. Ultimately, the characters realize they need each other in one way or another to do what they do. Famously within Batman mythology, Batman never kills the Joker, and the Joker is miserable without him.
You complete me. You're garbage who kills for money. Don't talk like one of them. You're not. Even if you'd like to be.
In Heat, Vincent and Neil are both at the top of their game with a mutual respect for each other, but reluctantly confront what is inevitable.
What if you do got me boxed in? Then I gotta put you down.
Neil's struggle with Edie is like Bruce's with Rachel, whom he deep down knows he can never be with. Neil takes a leap of faith with Edie despite knowing in the end his work will take priority over her.
Don't let yourself get attached to anything you are not willing to walk out on in 30 seconds flat if you feel the heat around the corner.
Heat is a masterclass in character work and world building. Lead and supporting characters have a great deal of depth rather than being cardboard cutouts. It's no wonder Rockstar Games and Christopher Nolan looked to this film for inspiration. If only more filmmakers today would learn from Michael Mann's film, maybe then we wouldn't be getting stuff like this.
And by the way, the women are always saving the men around here. You might want to think about changing the name to X-Women.
If you are a backwards duck haircut bearer and you're looking to shed the duck, Heat just recently hit 4K Blu-ray, so go check it out if you're based like that. Okay, I'm sure I missed some things, but that's it from me. This is the Next Ned, signing off.